like being able to interact with my computer from across the room. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Now you can bring your keyboard over there, your mouse over there. If the screen was big enough, you could probably go to the other side of the room.
Yeah. And I
It's
could
a nice
see.
setup. It's a really nice setup, I gotta admit. My studio
Yeah.
was set up kind of like that too, where I could work. I got my chair was a drum suit, drum stool with wheels.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I don't know why you don't have one of those that just collapse and put into a little bag so you can wheel yourself around while you're massaging people. Is there
Oh,
such a
because
thing?
I use body lever. Yeah. It's not a drum stool from the medical perspective. It's just um, a stool on wheels. Like it has a central pillar and then
Yeah,
five wheels.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't work that way because I work with leverage.
right.
So I use these as opposed to my hands as much.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen you wear that dress.
You're right.
That is a nice dress.
And it has
And it has
pockets.
pockets. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Who wouldn't wear
Wish I
that?
had, wish I had more of these. I should
Of
build
course,
them.
if men did wear that, they ought to be, what was it? They had to be branded somehow.
Well, they had to identify themselves at the
Oh, that's right.
temple gate.
They had to
They had to
they
identify
had to have
themselves
the
at the temple gate.
proclaimer. The proclaimer
Yeah.
had to talk for 2 days about how much of a
No,
weird
no,
you were.
that was women. If she wanted to be a prostitute, as for a man, it was a day.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's
One.
right. Male privilege.
Yeah. Ah.
Gonna cash it in whenever we possibly can. Oh,
Oh, it's right there.
all right. Market analysis. What even is going on?
Yeah.
I feel really bad for everybody that still thinks Trump was a good guy. His Davos presentation was rather harrowing. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but just the clips that I've seen so far, if they're not AI produced, which I even thought to myself, most of what I heard at Davos was generated by an LLM. I can tell the language patterns are absolutely identifiable. You just got to know how to identify it, and you can see it. It's like you can't unsee it once you see it, and then whenever you see it, which by the way right now is about 60% of text that you read now is generated by LLM. Did you even know that that had happened already?
No.
60% all of the text that you read is now LLM generated. On TikTok alone, 30% of the video content is recited with that brain rot.
Wow.
Told you this was going to happen.
Yes, you did.
Okay, just so we're clear that I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I might have absolutely nothing else going for me, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance hitting up that resistance line hard again. What do we have happening here? The pattern has shifted. We have this long downward trend line. And in fact, I'm going to go here because that's more so the angle. Even that's not quite accurate. Whoa, that just went crazy. Let's go to the monthly here and change the angle of that so that we see it on the monthly trend. This is a major resistance line at the moment. Let's go to the weekly. Now we see here we've got this low low, low. We are outside of a new wedge, what they call a flag pattern, when the highs are getting lower, the lows are getting higher. The more that happens, you have an energy buildup. The closer it gets to that center point, the more of an energy buildup it is.
It feels like a
Bitcoin
compression.
dominance. It's right. Very much a compression. And what we're waiting for right now, this is on the weekly chart. I'm going to go to the daily now. What we're waiting for now is volumes to go up. If volumes go up, we'll be able to tell right away from at the exchange level, we'll be able to tell exactly what those things are selling for. And the volume will be all measured, and we'll be able to get the data on the distribution. Meaning, if Bitcoin dominates, if Bitcoin ends up becoming less dominant because money's going into altcoins, we're going to watch this chart whiplash back out. We are right now simply in a test zone. You can see this area, this level at 59.8% especially, has a lot of resistance. The top that we hit was 60.08. So this is just the tightest little squeeze. Now that is on, we marked that out on the weekly chart. Remember? The reason we do that is because we are looking at the, what we're looking at is that, rather the principle that we are applying here is that the higher time frames govern the lower time frames. So on this particular chart, hey Gary, how's it going?
Good.
On this particular chart, we have this long-term trend line here. This one. So this little notch that we were drawing out on that daily chart, that notch now is not that significant. So on the chart, we have an indication that Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. And if it goes above that white line, that will be a major win for dominance on Bitcoin. That major win will likely result in a lapse in altcoins. Now, I am not of the mind that that's what's going to happen. Why? Because Solana, let's just talk about Solana for a second. Solana is one of the enigmas of the altcoins. And right now, it would be a good time, if you don't have a good amount, now would be a good time to get your hands on some. Here is the price on Solana going back all the way to the beginning 2020. Yeah, April 2020, this is the first month. Yep. Currently sitting at $72 billion market cap. It exceeds the market capitalization of ADA. So much so that it is ranked number 7 overall. Cardano is number 10. So Solana is way up here. Almost quadruple in size. No, it is way more. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. Cardano is only $574 million market cap. $500 million. Solana is 8 times bigger at 4 billion. What did they just do? They just launched their own mobile phone. The great onboarding continues. So that tells me Bitcoin is right around the altcoins. Audrey Lynn, I'm going to mute you because the speaker's feedback. If you want to chat, though, you just go ahead and unmute yourself. Ron, number 8. We're talking about altcoins today. We're going to be talking about these core altcoins because the question has risen, what's going to give me the shortest term gains? What gets me the fastest results? Tron just got added to a major, it's getting added to a major wallet connector. That major wallet connector is Brave. It's called Wallet Connect. This is massive, by the way. I don't use it because it's huge. It's where all of the, shall we say, slaves go to sign up. But here, this Wallet Connect is kind of doing what Midnight was doing or is doing, where they're just connecting all these other wallets. You can sign up for Wallet Connect with your Uniswap wallet, or you can do it with your Zerion wallet, or you can do it with MetaMask, Binance wallet. 1inch is on here. Uniswap, IM token, Ronin. They got it on here. Exodus. Lots of wallets you can connect here. You can even connect your Trezor. Now, is that a problem? No, it's not really a problem. Except what happens is that people use these browsers, these windows, these little portals into the digital sphere where all of the data is. This little thing here, a lot of times people connect their IDs to it. Ooh, those digital identifiers, fucking pesky little digital identifiers. And what happens is that all of the data that goes through this Brave profile, the browser profile, doesn't have to be Brave, it could be Chrome, Opera, doesn't matter. It's saving everything. So when you're out there and you're connecting to the internet and you're using the same profile, digital identifier, to browse the internet, and the data that you're consuming is connected in some way, shape, or form, because you're using the same digital identifier, to identify yourself as a citizen, then you are declaring that the data that you're consuming is under the jurisdiction of your citizenship. Do you want all of your property to belong to them? And if you do, don't ever, ever come to my masterminds again. Block me on all of the social medias. Or at least be courteous enough to send me a message so that I can do it myself, so that I can wipe you from the face of my existence. Because if that's what you want, carry forward, do your thing. My argument is that you do not use the same digital identifier to trade money back and forth, your equity, your property. I would say that you don't use a digital identifier that's associated with the slave. Because if you do, you deserve the slavery at that point. Please, 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 folks, I speak like this and I get angry because when you're working with people, your intention is to always be at peace with their progress. And it's sometimes the most difficult position for me to be in, simply because I'm watching, like I did in 2020, I watched humanity assemble, and they all unified under one ideology. Everybody thought that they were separate, and I was zooming out and I was looking at everybody being like, no, you are all doing things in order to appease the government. The word petition, by the way, is prayer. That's what it means. Go to the etymology of these words. Get to know what words they make you use to complain. You pay attention to what you're doing. Everything is language, and everything that you've been doing up till now, even if it hasn't been digital, has been recorded and is digital in their framework. What are digits? It's just another spreadsheet. It's just another database, a bunch of arrangements of languages with language patterns among them that are recorded somewhere. That's data. now it's digital. Now we can do it with a very, very, like, incredibly innovated hammer and chisel. And Wallet Connect is there for you to have it so that your Brave Pro, you don't have to worry about whether or not you've got a MetaMask extension. You don't need to get a Trust Wallet extension now. No, you don't have to create your own keys for a Binance wallet. Now you can put your keys right inside your browser. And Tron. Let's go back to Tron because that's what we were talking about. Tron, where did it go? There's CoinMarketCap. Tron just got added to the Brave infrastructure. So that'll boost things up. I believe we are at the bottom of the dip. And I'm going to show you where I think we are in relation to the last time we had takeoff. I actually want to pull up Ethereum. So in 2020, towards the middle of 2020, we had that first recovery. Okay. This became the market structure when it passed by that. So there we have that high coming up over top of that, recovering. We start this as alt season because recovery is like, it's great. This is all great growth, but from a technical perspective, we've just only recovered. So everything past here is accumulation. This is what we measure. When did this happen? This was January. This line got crossed, this market structure. This got crossed December 20th, or December 2020. And it continued on for 322 days to November 2021. And then it had a decline. And we have just finished, just keep in mind, August 2025, we just did that. We just reached that again. We hit that top. We hit that all-time high. But that means we only just recovered. So this here, that's what I'm saying. This is the market structure. This is what we came from all the way back up. We have not trended anywhere since 2021. Everything has simply been consolidating since. So when we look at what this growth did, we have to compare it to how it happened before. We don't have data before 2017 because Ethereum wasn't a thing yet. Well, it was just still in its infancy, not on the exchanges. So we see this here as kind of like that. We're on board, yay! Alts are on board, and then it goes down, and everybody got depressed in 2018, 19, you name it. These people were depressed because they had Ethereum. It's like $135. It's so low. And then we're broke. And then it took off. And I'm going to go from the low to the high. That is the low to the high. That's your ABC, right? Up to D. And then we just hit that again. Now, I think that we're going to actually have another little push. I think we're going to have a double top where it's going to go up and everybody's going to think this is it, but then it's going to come back down and it'll just end up being another double top. And then we'll have another direction to go. And then it'll do it again, and then it'll do it again, and it'll do it again. And every single time, if we can time it, let's say we time it so that we see, okay, no, we're beating out market structure here, right? Oh, this point here. We're beating out market structure right here. This is where we start taking positions. That's where we start heavily taking positions. And we line that up. Oh, measure it properly here. So we line that up and we aim for the extension. And what I would do is that I would be watching for this zone here. There's the high. And then I would wait until probably in here I would start selling up. I can't really see that, eh? Okay, let me go like this. So this is where we'd be coming in because we can see that we're getting some support off of there. We're getting support. So now we go here and we start entering here. This is our entry. And we see this high get created, and notice how the ATR starts to drop. I would start selling as that ATR drops, just where it comes in and starts to peter out of that volatility, because that's what the ATR is measuring. That volatility shows a little bit of weakness. I'm good. That's when we know that's time. It's time to take profit. So it goes up, be taking profit somewhere in here. So now we measure that because we don't want to just, you can never time it exactly, right? So this is the most.
So this is strictly, Paul? So this is strictly in Ethereum?
This is just analyzing how Ethereum took off. Yeah. And what we're doing is that we're aiming to average out. Like we've been dollar cost averaging, money's been moving around and all that stuff because we've been managing the drop from last year. Like last year, this time it was like 90 cents US. ADA was in like 90 cents. So now, it's super low, 35 or something like that today. So that's going to happen. But on average, if our dollar cost average can do this is where most of the money is made. So now you've got, and technically it's down here is where most of the money is made, but this is where we're probably going to average out, especially as we get started. So that distance there is 656%. What does that mean from where we are at this here? 656. So here's C, and here's this little area here. This is where we'd start. Sorry, this is C here. Yeah, market structure is here. So here's C. So then here is this area here. Right here is where we would start buying. Okay, so again, taking the averages of what would happen. There it is. So we'd be coming in this area here. We'd be buying. And where do we want to be selling? That's the question. So we make projections. We say, let's bring out good old Fibonacci, and we just get an idea with the positioning of this. So recovery is up here. We go to the top of recovery and we extend that line across. Now, because of the nature of the charts, I have to squish it down to find what our target is. Our first target where we can project that we will profit the most is around 6,900, basically $7,000 US. That is Ethereum's exit. Do you want me to leave this up? Would that help? Or do you want me to
incoming voice call from Deborah Mason.
Oh, she's off. She's been dealing with phone all morning. You know what? I'll bring it back. I don't like all the lines. I do have the pivot lines marked, and so we can track the movements from within there. ADA. We've been talking about this for a long time, how we've got that ABC and now we're like waiting for D on the daily chart. Well, we are very much in a good position on this 4-hour chart. So this is zooming in. This is actually very, very good spot. If we're going to D next, that's a 32% rise. So if you want to have some fun, honestly, don't think that, I can't do this. It's not going to make much money. Put in $50, $10 if you want. And simply start with that and practice. These short-term gains are kind of fun. It's way better than going to the casino, way better than betting, because you're using a technical analysis approach. We have the math on this. We know what the odds are of winning this trade. They're very good, 60%. So what we recommend is that you take some money aside to play with and you have some fun and practice this. Consider your trading, win or loss, consider your trading to be your tuition. That is the absolute best way you can possibly learn. So with ADA in position to go up and recover, remember that's not even markets taking off. That's simply ADA recovering from this. And I am of the mind that if we are going to be creating lower lows, that it's going to happen where we retest the weekly C over here. If we retest this, that would not be unheard of. The likelihood is strong. Again, we have an ABC and we're waiting for D. B is an old D, so this is a trend. Since it's a trend, you can draw that line. There you go. We're now underneath that trend line, and we are up against the same market structure as A. I can see that my mouse, my little halo, is not online. I gotta do some adjusting in my video software next. So this A is the weekly A, but it's just another C from June of 2023. If we're going down, this is our next one, 30 cents on ADA. So what you do is that as the price goes, remember, you're not putting the whole thing in because you're just doing a quick test. You're not putting the whole thing in. You're going to take $50 and you're just going to put $5 into ADA from now. If it goes down, put in 10. That way, you've got now ADA at a way cheaper price because the average has gone down. You bought some at, let's say you bought at B here. Let's go and zoom in. Let's say you bought at B, 39 cents. And you put in $10 as an example, easy math. Put in $10, you got $4 of ADA now. When it goes down, like where we are right now, put in some more. If it goes down again and we test out below A, down here, then you can go ahead and buy some more because you still have some left in your trading account. This principle that I'm teaching you now is a whole realm of study within trading that is attributed to being the most important when it comes to managing trading. Like this is the most important principle, and it's called risk management. You're saying, I'm not going to put it all in now. I've got this much I want to trade with, to play with, to learn with, to do tuition. Then I'm going to just keep on adding as the price goes down. That's ADA. Imagine if we just recover to this old B up here. Like I put down and I said, hey, just look, if you come back up and recover here, it's like 23%. That could happen within days. You know, maybe it'll take a week. That's a good return, 23%. But where we're at right now, I just shared with you where we're at with the industry, gave you two big industry updates. We're going to be going up to here. No problem. Well, that from where we are now, you know, that's recovery was 23% on the 4-hour chart. Well, recovery on the daily chart is 265%. 10 times what you can get on the 4-hour chart. The reason I'm saying all this is not because I'm trying to get you to buy more on a shorter period of time. I'm trying to help you see the bigger picture, because this D is going to recover to this weekly high. And where that is, from where we are right now, it's got to recover there yet. That's 741%, 7x. That's just to recover from the last alt season. And remember, folks, this is a logarithmic chart. The numbers get smaller as the graph goes up. And the reason I do that is because it gives me a perspective that I can make some. I can't do it with this one. Look. This is to scale. See where we are? Like, to scale, this is the old high up here. That's recovery. Even if we don't create new highs after that, that's recovery, and it's almost 10x away. Because we're at 36 cents right now, topped out at $3.12. It was, what was it, 309. It's alt season. Just look at silver go. Going on the daily chart, we had a little bit of a lapse over the first part of this week, but not much. It was expected to drop considerably farther. In fact, what's his name? Jeff something or the other. He's with the, who is he with? The JP Morgans, that class of ilk. He was telling people last week that it was going to drop. He was saying, well, we got to get out of this. You know, it's way too high. Things are going to have to correct here. We're going to see it come back to, he said back down here, $80. And so he's saying that. And as people are saying that, the institutions that all listen to his voice, because he's such a good reality TV show host, so good, they have done this. I'm going to show you what they did. They plotted. This is called the trade tool, the plotting tool. So they went ahead and starting here at that cross point, they said, we're going to go ahead and set a trade and we're going to leverage it 25 to 1. 25 to 1, meaning we're putting in $1 million. We got $25 million in leverage, meaning we got to pay that back. $1 million lets you borrow $25 million at that level. Just imagine that. So now they're in for that 25x return. And here's how they set their, this is how they set their profit, their positions. They set it so that it's like this. They said, if all else fails, here's our margin call. So if the price goes to $100 US, if the price goes to $100 US, that $25 million works against that $1 million they first put in. 25 times over. They're trying to go for $80. They want to rebuy at $80. And the highs keep on going up. We just did it again. In the last 2 hours, silver made another new high. Now, it's 96.58. If it gets to 100, that's a margin call of 25x. It's not 25 million, it's 25x. Whatever they put in, I don't know what the total was. But you know, when they're doing this kind of thing, they are manipulating the markets deliberately. The price is going to go up because there's shortages of silver already. The price is not going down to $80. We have only just begun this hockey stick curve. This is the weekly chart. Going back, this is January of 2024. Right there. It's a hockey stick. And we just started. We only just started. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you some interesting things here. Look at, we blew past that without a second thought. We blew past that previous high, $48 only 124 days ago. 124 days, we are up 101% on silver. Audrey Lynn shared with me that her private gold dealer asked if she wanted to sell some silver. That's a big nope. Gold also, what do you know? Creating new highs. $49.15, folks. $49.15. Fast approaching 5,000. Projection? Does anybody have one? Is there even like, should we? Let's take a look at the pattern. We take a look at the low. We got to go to the previous low and we got to stretch it across. And we go to where we created a new high right there. Okay, so now we go and bring it up to the next one and we just do the leapfrog thing. Find out where's that high. Okay, then we had the extension. And then there was this one. And this one. Is that right? Yep. And then we just leapfrog again to the N, and then we bring this up to C. Let's actually get some math on this. It would be good to have. There we go. And the reason I do this is because I want to make sure that I'm following the technical analysis before I plot this tool. Okay, so there's our previous high. We are waiting for the extension. The extension that we're looking for is going to tell us where it's headed next. This is saying 51.54 is going to be resistance. So we can expect some resistance around 5,200 next. And that's where we may very well have another retracement. Again, that's a market that's a market analysis. Right now, everything is accumulation. So dollar cost average. If it goes down, it's on sale. Good for you. Cash in on that. But right now, it's sitting at $4,914. As a result, we also have other math to take care of here because we update the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. We update this with the current amount of gold required because that tells us precisely what it's worth in real physical assets. So what you do is that you put in the total amount of what the index is, so 49,533, and I am dividing that by the price of gold, which is now 49.14. What do you know? Last number we had was 10.22 ounces of gold. Guess what it is? 0.07. It just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper. The stock market's going down. They keep saying it's going up, but look. Math says it's going down. And in fact, it's down 20% since April 2025. Did you know that if that were to occur in real life, like if that were to occur, if it was to go down that far in the period of time that it's gone down, there would be a national emergency. Like that's what people were doing this at this point here. Look, 20%. That was during Biden's era when everyone thought that it was the worst thing ever. They're all saying it's great right now, but it's gone down in value against gold as much as they would panic. just over 10 ounces to get the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. Midnight. It came up above that long trend line. This is on the 2-hour charts because of how new the coin is. Now sitting on top of that, looks like it's going to be testing this for support one more time. That's the 5-cent mark. Recovery on this one is 12 cents. That's a nice little 200%. Oh, no, it's just 2x. All right. That's all I got from market analysis. I don't really think there's much else to report anywhere else at the moment. There's tons of stuff on X, and it's just no one can keep track of it. So I'm just hitting share on my X profile. If you want to follow what I post as news, with stuff that I find interesting that I'm bringing into our masterminds here, you can follow me on X there at the username that's on the screen. Any questions, comments, other things you want me to look up? Well, we're here anyways, because starting at the bottom of the half hour, we're going to going into the NextGen Merchants co-work. So if there's nothing else, I'll just stop the live stream and then we can visit.